I guess so. Let me tell you a story about tree people. About tree people. So, my best friend when I was 21 years old, his name was Brad. I don't know why, but somehow we aren't friends anymore. Maybe this had something to do with it, probably not. Anyway, we basically both moved to Philadelphia together to work in this sales company, and we were going to move in and be roommates. We were friends since we were like 10 years old. Just a really good guy, and basically, say he was a really good guy. He was a good guy, but like with an edge. He wasn't like one of those good-hearted, you never abuse this guy. He was like, you know, he'll cuss you out, he'll cut you off, he'll drive super fast, he'll pick up girls with you, he'll, you know, go out and just have a good time. You know, he was a fun guy to hang out with. So anyway, we have a van and a trailer, and we're on our way from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia with all of the things that we own. And the van breaks down at 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning, basically it starts overheating, and I don't know much about cars, but I heard something like if it overheats and you still drive with it, it can shoot a rod. It can shoot a rod. And I didn't know what that meant, but I was going to tell him that it could shoot a rod and that it's dangerous and we should be careful. So we get out of the van because we're scared that a rod is going to be shot like towards us or something. And apparently that's not all what it means. But anyway, so we're out of the van and we're on the side of the turnpike, and it's 3 in the morning, and there are very few cars on this turnpike at 3 in the morning. Every once in a while you get one that comes by, but not as many as you would expect. And you cut directly through the Appalachian Mountains. So there's trees everywhere, and it is pitch black. There are no lights at all. A West Virginia van? Almost, yeah. So basically, it was just it was a big cargo van and trailer. So we had to call AAA to get them to like come out and do all that stuff. And we're outside, and one of my favorite things is scaring him. He was my best friend at the time, right? And so I was like, you know, I'm gonna make him nervous. I was a lot more secure about just, I don't know, environments and stuff. And I basically, he was right next to me. I hit his chest like real hard, like I was like, what is that? What is that, dude? And we're just on the side of the van, side of the road. There's no lights, and I'm looking out into the forest, and I'm like, dude, what was that? Did you see? Are there animals out here? He's like, no, I don't. What was it? I was like, those red eyes, dude. Like, did you literally right in front of us? You didn't see those red eyes? I'm gonna go to the other side of the van. He's like, he almost scrambles past me to like get on the other side, on the roadside even faster. He's like, oh yeah, must have been an animal. I'm like, I hope so. Man, I don't know. I think it could be. You don't think it's tree people? Could it be tree people? He's like, what do you mean tree people, man? I'm like, the people that live in the trees, dude. We're broken down on the side of the road. What do you think's in front of us? Trees. People are in those, dude. They're the tree people. He's like, no, man, there aren't any tree people. What are you? All right, I'm getting back in the van. Shoot a rod or not, I don't care. So he hops in, he locks the doors. And, you know, I'm like, all right, you know, let me in, whatever. So we just sit in the van. It's all cooled off. Everything's good. AAA shows up. We get our van and trailer towed away, and everything is fine. That is just some random fun thing that I wanted to do and just basically scare him that evening until I had a fantastic world-class opportunity to build upon the encounter. And here's how it went. So I traveled the country for sales, and we were actually going up to Maine. And Maine was about a 12-hour north drive, at least at the speed that we took it. So we got there super late, and on the way up there, I basically told him, I was like, you remember those eyes we saw? Like, I just include him in. I was like, remember those eyes we saw? It's like, you know, we're going to the heart of the tree people land. Sure, there's of course some in West Virginia in the Appalachian Mountains, but Maine is literally where they came from. And he's like, dude, tree people, they aren't, what are they? They don't exist. They're, what, people in the trees? There aren't any of those, man. Like, in Maine there are. Big time, dude. That's where they come from. Like, we need to be careful. Just letting you know. And so I pulled my boss aside, because this was before I took over the sales teams myself. I pulled him aside. I was like, all right, dude, I'm pranking Brad. I'm telling him tree people exist. Just go ahead and, like, just don't discredit it, you know, do whatever it is that you want to just build it up a little bit. And so his name was Greg, and he was like, all right, yeah, okay, I've got you. So when we brought it up in the van, he was like, no, I don't know, man. I want to, you know, I'm a hiker, and we know from hiking articles and magazines, like, we know not to just go out in wilderness like this. So now we had our boss basically adding to the story. And when we actually got to the event, we had neighbors on each side of us. And when Brad would, like, take a bathroom break or whatever, I would go over to the side neighbor. I'll be like, all right, I got my best friend here. We've never been to Maine, and I'm telling him there's people in the trees. I'm trying to scare the heck out of him, but it'll be more credible if you add to the story. So I'm like, when he comes back, like, just strike up a conversation or something and say something like, watch out for the trees or whatever. I'm like, here he comes, we got to go. And so the guy's like, all right, yeah, no problem. So, like, he was selling bathtubs or whatever, and he'd come over. He would just be like, hey, so you guys are Southerners, huh? And then, you know, Brad's like, Southerners? No. We're out of Philadelphia. It's like, so, you know, we came from Pennsylvania. We're not really Southerners. Like, uh-huh. We're in Maine now, son. You're from the South, and you don't know our ways. Yeah, you guys are Southerners, so I'm just going to go ahead and help you out. People around these parts, they go from hotel to event, and that's it. You don't want to go out there. You don't want to stray into the woods or anything. And he's like, well, okay, yeah, I mean, why would I? He's like, no, the question is why you wouldn't. And it's because of the people that are in the trees. And Brad is over here talking to this guy, and he just goes, and I look at him like, yeah, told you, man, tree people. They're in the trees. The people are, yeah, those dudes, you know? And he was like, oh my God, wow, this is crazy, okay. And I did the same thing to the guy on the other side. And, you know, he came back with a little bit more added in. And he was just like, you guys want to make sure, like, that when it's nighttime, you don't mess around out there. Because we have, you know, a small police force or something, but they really know they can't patrol the forest. And he's like, just stay away. I won't say for sure that it's indigenous people that live in the trees, but it's somewhere. So now he's got tree people from 2 independent vendors, basically, that are just talking to him, because that's what, you know, salespeople do. They talk to each other. And then we got my boss not discrediting the story, and we got me adding to the story. So it gets better, because I'm not yet ready to set the hook. The hook has to come a little bit later. We gotta get a good wrestle here first. So then we go to dinner, you guys. Treants, right? So then we go to dinner at Applebee's. And we get this, like, Rastafarian-looking waiter, basically. And he comes over, and he's, like, just real chill, like, looks like a cool guy. He's all tatted up, you know, he's got ink everywhere. He's got these dreads, huge gauges, and just looks like, you know, I don't know, a partier, and, like, he's down for whatever. But anyway, so Brad goes off, washes his hands and stuff. I pull the guy over, tell him what we're up to. I'm like, hey, listen, man, I got my best friend here. We're not from Maine. I'm trying to scare the heck out of him. I'm telling everybody around him that there's tree people. So just add to the story. Just, like, real casual, do it. And this guy, he gives me an eye, right? He basically is like, I've got you. I was like, all right, wow, cool, all right. So Brad comes back, and he goes, you aren't from around here, are you? You aren't from these parts. Like, I don't see too many tourists up here. And, you know, this is our waiter, right? So he already knows, because, like, he's on my side, I'm on his side. We're gonna give him a good tip. It's all that. But so he's, like, now trying to just act it up that he's like, you're very foreignish. So now he's very distant. You know, he's like, we don't really get a lot of tourists up here. You know, where are you guys from? And you know, Brad or Greg is like, oh yeah, from Philadelphia. He's like, how long have you been here? And I'm like, oh, we've just been here about 2 days now. He's like, then that means you haven't seen the news? You haven't seen the article? And Brad's like, what article? He's like, 1 week ago, a family came up here, went hiking during the day, and they were actually found in the treetops, strung to the top with leather nobody has seen in 200 years. I'm like, man, this guy is good. This is awesome. Like, man, I couldn't even have thought of that. That was so great. Now, Brad is stark white. Okay, Brad is full-on petrified, convinced now, for sure, there are tree people. At least he's stopped discrediting it. Because at first I was like, it's red eyes in the forest. It's tree people. But now he's got like a story to kind of hang his hat on, right? And so he has one final thing, one little final pushback at the end of this restaurant dinner that we have. I gave the guy quite the good tip. You know, I was like, man, this is the best thing ever. My mom is an investigative journalist. And so Brad, since, you know, we've been family friends since, you know, we were 10 years old. So he's like, I'm gonna call Mrs. Mendenhall. She'll know. She won't lie to me. And I was like, uh-oh. So I then text my mom like, all right, Mom, I need you to lie to Brad. She's like, honey, I won't lie to him. I'm like, I know, but I need you to. I'm like, he's gonna call you up and he's gonna talk to you about tree people, and you're gonna tell him that you did stories on them and that they're real and they're dangerous. She's like, tree people? It's like, yeah, whatever. He believes it enough. Just don't tell him the truth that they're not real, all right? Just do something. She's like, I don't want to lie to him. I'm like, I don't care. So she's like, all right. And Brad calls up my mom, right? Oh my God. And he's just like, are there people in the trees? We're 21 years old. I want you guys to understand that. We're 21 years old, right? We moved out of our family's houses to get this sales job. And, you know, it's like, come on. Anyway, so he's like, are there people in the trees? Like, around West Virginia? And, you know, and my mom's like, oh, yeah, you found out about them. It's not really something that people talk about, but I've been an investigative journalist, and I've written stories about them. And Evan did not tell me you were in Maine. Okay, you need to be very careful. You need to not go outside past a certain... Like, she just kept on going. And here's where it gets even better. Yo, what's up, man? Man, there's 2 or 3 big jumps in this story where it gets even better. That's how it becomes the best story I have. So now Brad comes back to me. He's like, they're real, man. They're real. And I could absolutely say, yes, of course they are, and support it. But I know that when people get into arguments, they always end up believing what they started saying more than when they started saying it, right? At the end of the argument, when they make a case for it, they believe it more. It's just this. That's just how it goes. That's human nature. So I full on flipped the switch. Okay, everything was already planned. We had the story verified by 3 or 4 other people. He cleared it with my mom. So he comes back to me. He's like, tree people are real. And I go, what? It's like, dude, I thought you'd know for sure after talking to my mom. Like, I was kidding. Gamer, thanks for the follow, man. Thanks for the follow. So I was like, dude, no, man, I was kidding. I didn't see the red eyes. Like, there aren't any tree people. He's like, dude, they are. There are tree people. Why would those people tell us not to go into the woods? They don't even know us. I was like, people in the trees? Come on, there's just no way. He's like, what about the leather? The 200-year-old leather. Nobody's even seen that, dude. In 200 years. That leather, nobody's even seen that. I was like, all right, if you think tree people are real, I'm going to prove to you. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to go out into the forest in the mountain at midnight tomorrow. And I'm going to prove to you there are no tree people. He's like, no, I'm not going to, no, man. And Greg, our boss, is like kind of rolled over in bed at this point. And he gets up, he's like, if you were a man, you'd go. And he just lays his head right back down. And Brad, man, he is wrapped up. Like, I don't want to talk bad about it, but he's wrapped up in like how people perceive him. And that was enough to just, he couldn't handle it. He was like, All right, yeah. Like he has to look tough, you know. It's the guys that love to pretend like they're ready to fight, and then they get into the fight, they're like, oh crap, you know, here I am. So my boss totally just hit him with that, and he was like, all right, yeah, we'll go. And he's expecting there's no chance, right? He just doesn't think so. So the next day rolls around, and midnight comes up, and this dude, he is tucked in. He is tucked right into bed, you guys. Like, he's got his little PJs on. I didn't even know he had PJs. He's all in his PJs and, like, wrapped in the covers. I'm like, dude, it's 11:55. We're going out looking for tree people because they don't exist, and I'm going to find them if they do. He's like, no, man, we're not really. No, that was not. You've got to be. That was a joke, right? It's like, we're going. Let's go. And so we start dressing in black. It's just him and me. Thanks, man. Thank you. I'm telling this crazy story about how I pranked my buddy when we were 21. So we get into this van, and I've got my GPS, right? And I don't think we have phones. I think I was like, I can't remember what the phone situation was. But we get in, you guys, and we start driving. Now it's Maine, okay? It's Maine, and there's forest stuff everywhere. The trees are extremely, extremely tall. Just the benefit I've had from going from like Florida to Maine, you get to see how the actual landscape changes. And trees in Maine are like eerily 100-foot tall, crazy thin trees. Usually fir and just like monsters. And from us in Pennsylvania and New Jersey area, you know, we're not used to that. It was very eerie, especially at night with zero light. You know, this is the heart of Maine. So we're driving, and there's one street light near our hotel, and we pass that. We go past that street light, and we notice there are no more street lights at all. It looks like there aren't any more street lights in the whole state. It's crazy. And so we still have pavement. We still have a normal road. There's lines on the road, and we come to a fork in the road, and I'm like, all right, yeah, we'll go left here. That sounds good. And we had our GPS there. It wasn't programmed to anything. You know, we could see the mountain that we were going to. So this paved road changes, and I can't remember if it went to brick or cobblestone, but all I remember is, and we are no longer on a paved road. There hasn't been lights on the street for a long time. Absolutely no sidewalks, and we're on basically it's cobblestone essentially. And we're going, and it's windy, and, you know, he's okay because we're in a moving vehicle. And, you know, our cobblestone adventure is interesting, but cobblestone changes, and it's no longer cobblestone. It then becomes basically gravel. So now we're driving on a gravel road through Maine in the mountains, and our GPS loses signal. And our phones, that's the thing with our phones, neither of our phones had any signal at all. We couldn't put in the hotel, and I was thinking, I was like, wow, this is kind of like a horror movie. This is very much like a horror movie. I wish we had GPS right now. This would be nice. And so we kept going, and we're like, I wasn't ready to turn around, you know, but gravel became dirt. And now we're on a dirt road, and we don't really know how the road went from paved to cobblestone to gravel, or how many turns we took, or when it became dirt. But the dirt road stopped. Wait, how does the GPS lose signal? In Maine, dude, it was an absolute dead spot. Like, it was no signal at all. There was some signals in some Maine areas, but we were off all of that area. So it was bizarre. So, but anyway. So we go over, right, it's dirt, and then it's no longer dirt. Now, in the middle, like right in front of us, on our little van path, is like a 6-foot tall weed that we just knock over. And then there's another one, and another one, and another one. And we have no road, and we have no idea where the road was, but we're basically just driving over like brush, weeds, and grass, and we're kind of lost entirely. And, I'm like, wow, all right, I don't know what just happened, but I have to act tough because I'm still trying to scare him, and that is the main concern right now, scaring the hell out of my best friend. That is most important to me. So, oh man, I make a mistake here. I make a big mistake, which I regret. I wasn't driving. And I'm like, Brad, all right, here it is. Let's stop, dude, right now. This is it. Let's get out. And he starts to cry. Full-on cries. He spins the van around, going like, I don't know, 40 miles an hour in the middle of nowhere. And he's just like, I can't lose you. You've been my best friend for so long. No, you would die. You would die. It's always the good ones. It's always the good ones, man. It's you. You're the good one. We're going to lose you. I can't lose you. You're my best friend. And he is full on breaking down. And I'm just like, why didn't I drive? Oh my God. Why didn't I drive? So he was driving. He turns around. I have no control over it. Eventually, I was like, I guess I should have made him cry, but still, it was great. And oh man, if only he wasn't driving, right? So we go back, and I don't know how it goes. I'm pretty disappointed at this point. I really wanted to get him out into the middle of the night in the forest, and I don't know how it would have evolved or what would have happened, but I just wanted that to happen, and it didn't. And so we're driving back, and we hit the gravel, we hit the cobblestone, and eventually, a few turns later, our GPS kicks on, and we do make it back to the hotel. And I'm pretty disappointed. I didn't realize how epic of a story this would one day be, telling the full thing. I really just wanted to scare him in the woods. So I was like, oh man, all right, that's pretty rough. But you know, the next day he just, you know, he's totally like, oh yeah, yeah, we went out, we didn't see him. It was fine. It was no big deal. It was cool. Yeah, they might be out there, might not be. But he still basically to this day believes tree people are real. They are people that live in the trees or whatever. I have no idea. But it was the best prank I think I've ever pulled on any one person. For sure. It was pretty good. So there you go, guys. That is my tree people story. It's my favorite story. I love it. It was so great. He still thinks there's tree people, you guys. He still thinks there's tree people. So, now you guys know. That's the full one. So that's one of like 25 epic stories that I have in my life. Just crazy adventures. I like to collect those stories, tell them to my friends. And then you guys love coming to the stream because occasionally when I get going on a story, it's usually pretty good. So there you go, guys. 12 out of 10 would listen on my way to work again. Good stuff. Back, best story.